Now, as we continue to scrutinize the 2026 budget, Nigerians are reacting with outrage after the Public Accountability Organization, Trachea, revealed.
Now, let me tell you straight off, there is no investigation going on. They don't want you to believe that they are doing something. In reality, they are not doing anything.
That's why many Nigerians have recommended a different model of budgeting.
Correct.
And greater accountability
Correct.
in the budgeting process.
Of serious concern to Nigerians. What I'm saying is in the public domain is not being hidden.
The video that is there, how Mungunu was threatening Senator Mungunu that you are not been funding us. 2025, not funded.
That the 2026 proposed budget set aside 22.15 billion naira for the construction, renovation, and furnishing of 100 royal palaces.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Plan B TV News Gist and Blog. While we are dealing on Femi Gbajabiamila embezzlement or how Matthew Adeyemi conspired, do you know the conspiracy? They are talking about 1.8 billion, while others are talking about 54 billion. Now, there is a new story that is trending right now that the federal government 2026 budget is causing a whole lot of chaos. For the first time in the history of Nigeria that we are hearing 8 billion will be allocated to church and mosque. I'm not the one reporting it now. 8 billion is being allocated to church and mosque. Church and mosque that is private. Budget in Nigeria is stating that 8-point-something billion is being allocated to empower mosque and church. And I want you guys to see how the Arise TV News react to it.
A fresh budget controversy is generating debate across Nigeria after Public Accountability Organization, Trachea, a unit of budget, revealed that the federal government has allocated a staggering 8.05 billion naira in the 2026 budget for construction, renovation, and equipping of churches and mosques. Well, according to the breakdown, 1.91 billion naira was allocated to 7 church-related projects, while 6.14 billion naira was earmarked for 52 mosque-related projects, with the funds embedded across ministries and agencies traditionally detached from religious affairs. While among the most eyebrow-raising line item, 1 billion naira was allocated for the provision of musical and cultural equipment to churches in Bende local government area of Abia State under the Ministry of Labor. Can you imagine that? And 210 million naira was allocated to the Institute of Agricultural Research in Zaria. Ayo, this is an agricultural agency for a construction of a mosque. Agricultural agency. I mean, this is the kind of stories that we are seeing right now.
It's oversight.
It's called oversight. No, this is completely unacceptable.
Thank you for mentioning the word oversight, because this has come under question in very recent times. The fact that the people who are responsible for oversight functions have failed terribly in the discharge of their duties, and by so doing have failed Nigerians, because in an era where we're looking at a cash crunch, revenue crunch, looking for how we can meet certain obligations, we're unable to fund projects. Rufai, earlier on you talked about how the conversation is even about the 2025 budget, and that is even a percentage of that. We have not yet even begun to talk about the 2026 budget. A country that is battling with number of out-of-school children, the largest in the world. A country that cannot boast of a competent primary health center or primary health centers across the country. A country that has at least approximately 133 people in multidimensional poverty. A country where people are hungry, people do not, there's a conversation around the minimum wage, and we are inserting frivolities. I'll use the word frivolities in ministries that do not have any business with this agenda. And so the first question is that when there was a budget defense, how did this pass over or was not scrutinized by the Senate Committee on Budget? Why was this allowed to fly, that the constitutional provisions that some of these agencies come under, it wasn't flagged That's number one. Number two is that, OG, a lot of these things, I dare say, are for fraudulent activities. They are not even to build the churches or the mosques. They are there and inserted there because, in Nigeria, you mention religious goodwill. People keep quiet because we can be quite religious. A lot of these projects, these 8 billion, they will not see the light of day with these church and mosque projects. It will just go whoop like that and nobody will ask questions. So what we are saying is that when we are talking about fiscal discipline, where we are asking that more money should be channeled to resources, where we are talking about the underlying causes of insecurity and terrorism in the Northeast, and the lack of infrastructure, this is what we see. And that is why I said, and I started off by saying that the body or the institution responsible for oversight function should be brought on that question as to why there's not the budget office, number one, how this was outlined in the budget of 2026. Then the oversight functions of the Senate failed in their duty to actually protect the interests of Nigerians whom they are supposed to represent. And this cannot continue. If we look at, Adesoa, one of our anchors, Adesoa Omosage, has done a lot of work in this area, even I have dissected some of the items in the budget. And it is quite sad to see this happening. Please, Nigeria is a secular state. I'm a Christian, and I'm very proud of that. And there are many people who are free based on the Constitution to for freedom of religion, but there are certain things that should not be our priority at this time. And part of that, I dare say, is funding of building churches, funding of building mosques. It does not in any way help in terms of our priority for what is important. We need to stop this. Can we even begin the conversation of even funding pilgrimage endeavors? We've talked about this at length, and this corruption must stop. It is corruption clear must stop.
I was saying you want to say something, but I'll just quickly read up on what has been going. Like I said, that they had the budget for an agricultural agency for the construction of a mosque. I mean, these revelations come as Nigerians on social media are pointing out that the country's public libraries have virtually vanished. The Northern Christian Association has also waded in with Reverend Joseph John Haya questioning the wide disparity between church and mosque allocation, saying that while government support for religious projects is not inherently wrong, the allocation pattern raises serious questions about fairness, equity, and constitutional principles of equal treatment. That's what you talked about. Dr. Abati, Rufai hasn't spoken, so let's just quickly have him speak quickly on this.
You see, these days I now laugh at the country. There is no way these lawmakers would tell me that they didn't know about this padding in this budget. Everything from these lawmakers have been fraud. Tax law, fraud. Budgets, fraud. Everything, fraud. They know. Oji, the question you should ask yourself is, why is that church project went to Bende? Who is from Bende? That's the question you should ask, Oji.
Yeah.
Why is that the mosque project went to Zaria? Who is from Zaria? You think they don't know? You think it's today they've been padding these budgets? Everything fraud. Rubber stamp assembly fraud. But maybe when we asked one of them yesterday, he started campaigning for President Tinubu. You think they don't know? He said, I don't have details on it. All I just want to say is that President Tinubu has done very well. We know. But look at it, Oji. So it's a systemic pattern. Oji, the question we should ask is, the reporting is not even complete here, because what about the ones they hid that you will never see? Oji, Ministry of Livestock was seen building projects, church projects. Most of the parastatal were seen doing one constituency project or the other. Oji, till date, 8.8 trillion. If not because of our World Bank, we will not know that extra budgetary spending was made. 8.8, they've not given us line by line item today. They will put these things in the budgets. The sad part, Oji, is that they are not even funding it. If they were funding it, we would say that the budget is moving. Yesterday, that's why I was talking about the Taiwo Yedeli something. The video that is there, how Mungunu was threatening Senator Mungunu that you are not been funding us. 2025, not funded. Yeah. So they put this thing, they line it out, they take it out of our budget. This is the discrepancy that has been going on. There are many they have hidden there that you don't know. That's why I say the budget, fraud. Yeah. Anything that goes through them, fraud. What's it called? The tax law today, we don't even know the one to believe. Till today, the Senate said we will look into the matter and investigation about the one they released and the one. Has the Senate giving you a report today? Has the House giving you a report today? So people representing the people. Oji, next year we'll talk about this issue again. You remember when we were talking about budget padding? Since the time of Jubrin, we were talking about budget padding. How many years is that? That's close to 5-10 years. And they will padding it. They will pad it. They will pad it again next year. They are already padding the one for next year. Oji, you didn't even talk about the World Cup. World Cup. They add World Cup that we didn't go to into the budgets. When I cry for this country, people say, well, I have a lot of tears in my eye. World Cup that we didn't go to the add it to the budget. And then our friends Adeyemi.
Dr. Bati.
Okay, I was going to refer to a book. The book is titled When Government Breaks the Law, which is a book on the question of the rule of law and the Bush administration, Bush Senior, that is. Now, one of the primary responsibilities of government, and that's why people take oath of office, swearing in and all that, is to protect the rule of law. When the government itself that is supposed to uphold the rule of law breaks the law, then a tragedy has befallen the people. This is where we have found ourselves in Nigeria. Section 10 is a relevant section. It says in the 1999 Constitution that there should be no state religion adopted in the federation or any state or any part thereof. The operative word there is shall. In Section 38, the Nigerian Constitution says you have the freedom of belief, freedom of thought, freedom of worship. It does not say government should get involved in it. Government had been removed from Section 10. That this is a secular, non-partisan federation. But you will find governors sponsoring religious leaders. They are even buying prayer mats. Very soon, Catholics will say they want rosaries to be bought for them.
All right.
This is a situation where government breaks the law brazenly.
Thank you all for your support.
Now, in all of this, they said that, oh, we are going to investigate who is behind all these budgets. Why is this thing like this? They are trying to, but VOP barrister Dalisi said that there is no investigation going on, and not even once they have seen any investigation starting to conclusions and somebody being held accountable that are being conducted by these current senators that are being held and controlled by Akpabio. I want you guys to listen to what Barrister Daliti said. We'll be right back.
Now, let me tell you straight off. There is no investigation going on. They don't want you to believe that they are doing something. In reality, they are not doing anything. Did you hear what I said? You don't give a dog meat to go and keep for you.
Okay.
You will never get that meat when you need it. The dog would have eaten it. All the color of all people on what ground? What happened to EFCC? At least let us even start from there. Yes, there are statutory and agencies empowered by law to do this such investigation when it comes to money. When have you seen one investigation that saw the light of day from this National Assembly? Just one like this, one. That the investigation investigated and then brought somebody to book. Just show me one. So when I'm making this, it's not as if I want to. It's just these people, they are annoying me. They just want to mess my brain, and I will not allow them to do that. Every time you are investigating, all the while you have been investigating, what came out of it?
All right then.
I think use somebody to show an example.
All
the color of people, all the color investigating missing funds, Abi. Are you serious?
Yes, I wanted.
Now, you might want to wonder, what are they doing with all of this money? The money that they accumulated. That's why I want you guys to watch this Anwata TV. When this particular senator said that, it pains him to the point that 75 trillion debts were accumulated over since 1999 to 2023, before Bola Ahmed Tinubu came into power. Remember, 75 trillion debt. But when Bola Ahmed Tinubu came into power, within the space of 3 years, Bola Ahmed Tinubu have accumulated 80 trillion naira. I want you guys to watch this video.
Of serious concern to Nigerians. What I'm saying is in the public domain is not anything hidden. When this government came in, it inherited, I think, over 75 trillion naira. Now it has added almost 75 to 80 trillion naira in borrowing. And despite this, budget implementation is nowhere where we want it to be, as said by the Chief Whip of the Senate. We have not even started implementing the 2020.
Within the space of 3 years, 80 trillion don't gone. They just borrow. This one are the money where they borrow. We're not talking about the hidden money that these people are collecting through first subsidy. That they said, oh, subsidy money, the oil money, and other tax money that these people have collected. Only borrow from the Western world is 80 trillion within the space of 30 years. And these people is telling you that they need extra 4 years to finish you guys. While we are still complaining, everybody's ranting and complaining. Did you just know that the current budget again that the Arise TV News is reporting 22 billion, not million, for royal palace across the state? Now, all of this money, the royal palace are not getting it all. Somebody will just insert it there. Then they will approve it. They share this money amongst the APC. If you think I'm lying, I want you guys to watch this video.
Now, as we continue to scrutinize the 2026 budget, Nigerians are reacting with outrage after the Public Accountability Organization, Trachea, revealed that the 2026 proposed budget set aside 22.15 billion naira for the construction, renovation, and furnishing of 100 royal palaces across the country. Among findings which were posted on their X page on Wednesday, 11 palace projects worth over 5 billion naira have no clear identified locations, including 1.54 billion naira earmarked for the modernizing and furnishing of some selected national heritage palaces in communities across Nigeria. The organization found that billions of naira meant for traditional palaces appeared to be routed through unrelated agencies, including the Nigerian Institute for Oceanography, the Cocoa Research Institute in Ibadan, the National National Cereal Institute, and even the National Institute for Cancer and Traditional Palaces. Cancer Palace. All right, and cereal. Well, this is coming just days after Trachea also revealed that 8.05 billion naira was allocated for the construction, renovation, and equipping of churches and mosques, with several projects embedded in ministries unrelated to religious affairs. Meanwhile, this is as ICPC said it uncovered 908 ghost workers across at least 50 federal ministries, recovering nearly 1 billion naira in fraudulently paid salaries, with one particularly brazen suspect allegedly enrolling his wife, son, and mother-in-law as government workers while collecting the salaries of 12 other fictitious employees. I mean, let me start with you, Rufai.
The budget show is going on. In fact, we should have a special series on Arise TV called the Budget Show.
Yes, that's what we are doing right now. Yeah, we're going to continue to scrutinize it. Show. You know, we do it periodically.
Audrey, you can see, this was the argument I was making. The reason why people like us argued for subsidy removal then was that we thought government would be transparent enough and plow the money into the needs of the people. But see what they are spending it on, Audrey. If National Cancer Research Institute, that ought to make research funding available for schools for cancer, is the one now building palaces, and they are collecting the money. And these are some that Trachea has been able to reveal, because there are still many more like that. Urge till today, they've not given us line-by-line item how they spent 8.8 trillion. That it was the World Bank that drew attention to. Till today, most of the line items in the budget that we need to see have not been spent on the people. I talked about even the deputy speaker that had the effrontery to now send these people to write that they wanted to use it for young people, when National Orientation Agency has not gotten their money. A penny has not been dropped. When National Orientation Agency, when we advocated for them the last time, they got their money. We saw the impact. You saw all of the things they were doing here, even with us, here in Arise.
Right.
And please, government, pay anyway on time. Please.
Yes.
So you see the kind of process that goes on. What I would like to say is, I don't know, because this problem keeps happening every year. I don't know if we can pass a bill to strengthen the powers of the FRC, Federal Revenue Commission, to scrutinize and make the powers be sort of like an OBR in the UK, to scrutinize the budget process. In fact, in my head, I've written that bill where that agency that will scrutinize the budgets will not be subservient to the president, will not be subservient to the National Assembly. The people on the agents will serve independently.
All right.
And all the budgets must be submitted to them to scrutinize for 45 days before the president now takes seats to the National Assembly to assent. And they should be given statutory power to raise red flags and to even be given prosecutorial powers to sue anybody that pads and put things in the budget.
Yes, I mean, Rufai, what is the job
that's my
of
solution.
The Presidential Advisory Committee? What is the job of the Presidential Advisory Committee? I thought that it's set up for things like that as well.
Yes, the budget office is set up for things like that. Senate committee, but all of them, since they are in bed together and there's no oversight.
Yes.
We should be able to have an independent body that doesn't care about them. Because you see, there's something I call executive usurpation. Usurps all those bodies of accountability. We must have an accountability body for the budget. I think that should be the lasting solution.
Independent
independence
right before the budget is submitted.
It should be given prosecutorial powers that if you see anybody pad the budget.
But let me just say something. But if I always that quote, culture will eat strategy for breakfast. As long as you can create 100 agencies. Because if we don't deal and repair the institutions that exist, why do we want to create another agency where we have the Senate?
I'm not saying create another agency. But I'm saying, Dr. But there's a Fiscal Revenue Commission.
There is.
Ramfac. No. I think there's an FRC, a Revenue Commission that does the work of overseeing the budget, but it's being subsumed. It's being shut down. I'm saying let's empower that agency. Give it, even its money should come from first line charge. Make it very independent so that it can whistle blow on the budgeting ecosystem. See, Ayo, in 2007, 2008, the British government, it was seen that the British government made a lot of lies and errors in the estimation of their budgeting system. That was what led to part of the things they adduced for the stock market crash. In 2010, that's why they set up the OBR.
All right.
So we must have that accountability watchdog that is empowered.
Yes, I agree with that accountability watchdog. I mean, here we are seeing,
because we talk about this
money being allocated to mosques, churches. Now, palaces, 22.15 billion.
My pain in all of this is that despite every news that is being published online, there are people that will still say to you that they prefer Bola Ahmed Tinubu, that his plan for Nigeria is better than any other person's plan that you all could have ever imagined. That Bola Ahmed Tinubu, that is where I think that these people, the kind of sacrifice and juju that they are using to carve people's mind is too much. It's beyond human imagination. Somebody will tell you that this person stole money. You tell him, no, I know the reason he stole, but naturally he's rich. But for him to steal that 80 billion, it means that he needed it. But what he's going to use it for, you might not understand it. 1 year passed, 2 years passed, 3 years passed. Now, next year, now it's no longer work, it's not campaign. They will begin campaign and forget about project. Up till now, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, apart from in FCT, across the other states, that this work that the federal government should have done, not even one, start from beginning and being commissioned by federal government. If there is any, please let me know that this federal road were constructed from beginning to the end that leak from one state to another, or a constant electricity, or security, or basic amenities, or maybe economy. That this, that this is what Bola Ahmed Tinubu have done for the past 4 years. Other than siphoning, embezzle, all his cabinet are den of thieves.
Now to a story raising serious questions about how Nigeria spends public money. The National Commission for Amalgary and Out-of-School Children Education, a body set up to tackle the country's out-of-school children crisis, is under new scrutiny after being found to have allocated billions of naira in the 2026 budget, not for classrooms or teachers, But for roads, street lights, and medical equipment, line items under the National Commission for Almajiri and Out-of-School Children budget show 1.4 billion naira for one road in Abeokuta, Ogun State. Other items show over 2.1 billion naira for two roads in Katsina State, while another line item allocates 1.4 billion naira to a single road in Ekiti State. The commission was initially set up to reduce Nigeria's 18 million out-of-school children, the highest number in the world, raising questions about these external projects, which are clearly outside its primary mandate. Well, Dr. Bati, budget experts have criticized the distortion in the budget, saying allocating projects outside an agency's responsibility weakens accountability while shifting resources from where they are most needed. Other items under the Commission's budget revealed that 700 million naira was allocated towards the provision of ambulances, furniture, and dental x-ray machines. Dr. Bati, can you imagine this? Your thoughts?
Well, nothing could better indicate the decay of Nigeria's budgeting process. One of the fallouts of the story about the fake, phantom, fictitious, all of those was mainly the same thing. Presidential Commission on Export Promotion was about the fact that the National Assembly budgeted 1.3 billion for that particular agency, and people were wondering, how did it escape legislative scrutiny? How did the National Assembly, the representatives of the people, fail to realize that that agency was non-existent? And now Punch newspaper, in its editorial, because that story is from the Punch editorial of July 13, yesterday, pointing out, what has now been identified as budgeting absurdity. And indeed, it's not unfortunate, it is scandalous. Mm-hmm. The National Out-of-School Commission, Almajiri and Out-of-School Commission, was established in 2023 with the objective that with UNESCO telling us that Nigeria has between 15 to 20 million children that are out of school, that agency will focus on ensuring access to basic education for Nigerian children in whatever part of the country that they may find themselves. And yet, in the Punch newspaper scrutiny of the budgeting for that particular commission, it is found that this over 8 billion is for construction of roads. How is the construction of roads the job of a national out-of-school commission?
I have never seen this.
And also procurement of ambulances, X-ray equipment. What is the business of an out-of-school commission with X-ray equipment? Now, what was found, that editorial pointed out, is that these are projects that have been inserted into the budget for that commission and called constituency projects to be executed by lawmakers who have smuggled, in other words, they have smuggled ghost projects into the budget of an agency whose constitutional mandate is completely different.
Completely.
The mandate of that commission is to, get more children into schools. Yes. And now they have padded the budget. They have turned it upside down by saying they will construct roads. I think we need greater responsibility, oversight, accountability on the part of members of the National Assembly. It is not enough for them to say, we are doing constituency projects. Constituency projects fall within the purview of the executive. That's why they are called executive.
Yes.
They execute.
This is it.
The job of the lawmakers is to make laws.
Yes. Not
to create opportunities for money making inside the budget of Nigeria.
Well said.
And that's why many Nigerians have recommended a different model of budgeting.
Correct.
And greater accountability in the budgeting process.
I agree with you 100%. Thank you, Dr. Abati, for that highlight. We have 18 million children out of school. This is completely unbelievable. Like you said, we need this budget scrutinized. And obviously, we're calling for a new agency to look through those line items.
Most of his cabinet are dens of thieves. Dens of thieves. You cannot even take 90% out that have the people mind at heart. All they do is to make thief thief, 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 thief. And if you are not a thief, they will remove you from their post. Anyway, I rest my case here. I'll be waiting for you guys in the comment section to tell us your thoughts. What are your thoughts regarding to all of this video you just watched? You listen to the money that they have borrowed. You listen to the money that they said they are allocated to church and mosque and palace. You listen to their own investigation. You listen to the whole video. For those of you that are defending Bola Ahmed Tinubu, please let us know why you think that this man deserves another 4 years. That now that he cannot give an account of 80 trillion, what he did with this money, that he needed another 4 years to explain to you that what he did. If somebody borrowed money and he did not begin any project that people can see with their physical eyes, we're not talking about the Nigerian resources now, the oil, the uranium, the lithium, all those things that the natural resources of Nigeria or the tax. No, we're not talking about those ones. The 80 trillion that these people have borrowed, what have they done with it that the physical eyes can see? Peace out.